What's up you guys, it's Sarah and welcome back to another video. So this video was supposed to be a week of breakfast that I eat in university, but I started filming this on a Thursday for some reason and then I kind of forgot that I was filming, so I ended up skipping some days and then I had to film my breakfast for other days, so this isn't like exactly what I ate for breakfast in 1 week, but rather it's a collection, I guess, of 7 breakfasts that I eat pretty often in university. These are all relatively quick and easy and they all taste delicious. And I'm excited to show you guys, so let's get into it. Alright, so breakfast number 1 are these vegan tofu egg muffins that I prepped earlier in the week. They're from a blog called Okonomi Kitchen, which I will link below, but these are super good. I just warmed them up in the microwave, put some tahini on them, and they were 10 on 10. I paired it with some toast that I toasted in my pan because I sadly do not have a toaster. And then I spread on some thick almond butter because I was getting to the bottom of my jar, so most of like the oil part was gone and it was just, you know, the thick good stuff. And then I topped it with a nice banana that was kind of bruised, but it's okay, and also some hemp hearts and some cinnamon. This was the finished product, and guys, listen to this crunch. So good. That's the only way I eat bread, is when it's that crunchy. For breakfast number 2, I had some steel cut oats, and when I make steel cut oats in the morning, I always make sure that I soak it overnight because otherwise it takes forever to cook. So I just put it on the stovetop and then threw in some apples, and then I also put in some chia seeds and some flax seeds. And then I kind of just mixed it up and let it simmer for honestly less than 10 minutes, and then it was already cooked. It kind of looks like it's gonna explode in this clip because I left it for a second, but I made sure I came back and stirred it up and it didn't get stuck to the bottom of the pan or anything, so that's good. Then I just transferred all of it into a bowl, and then I topped it with a banana, some cinnamon, and some freshly cracked salt, which is so good on top of oats. And I also added some almond butter because oats are incomplete without it. And this is the finished product. So breakfast number 3 was on a Saturday and I had a bit more time, so I made some pancakes. And I've made them on my channel before, but I've never actually shared the recipe because I got it from a recipe book. But I think I've altered the recipe so much at this point that it's not even the same recipe, plus I never measure anything anyway. So I'll kind of tell you guys a general outline of what it is, but I'll also put it in the description. But I start off with a 1/4 cup of flax in 3/4 of a cup of water. Then let that set for a bit until it becomes a flax egg. Then I added in 3 mashed bananas as well as some almond milk, and then some cinnamon, baking powder, and salt, which I did not measure, but I did measure the dry ingredients, which were some almond flour and some whole wheat flour, and 1 cup of those each. And for some reason this time I did not add enough milk because it was way too thick, so I just kept adding milk until eventually it got to a thinner consistency. I had to do this for a little bit because I just didn't measure my ingredients properly for some reason. So I added probably about 1.5 cups of milk in total this time. And I don't really know how to describe the consistency you want. You just kind of have to feel for it. But you just want to make sure it's kind of like this consistency that you can kind of see in the video. I don't really know how else to describe it, but it's not too thick, it's not too thin. The perfect balance. Anyway, I added some apples and some blueberries onto the pancakes, and then I just let them sit there and cook, and then I tried to flip them over, but some of them were not flipping, so I had to wait a little bit for those to, you know, get their act together and cook, and then I flipped them over. This is the finished product. I topped it off with some hemp hearts, and also some yogurt that I mixed with some flax just to make it a little bit thicker, and some coconut flakes. Then I decided to try and make sort of like an apple jam, except I literally didn't measure anything this time, which was a mistake because I did not have the right proportions of ingredients and it didn't really work. But here's me doing it anyway. I just chopped up 3 apples, put them in a pan with some water and let it simmer for a bit, and then I added in the chia seeds, except I don't think I let the apples simmer for long enough because they didn't release their juices, and the chia seeds kind of just congealed with the water rather than the apple juice, and it just didn't really work out very well. I've made this before with frozen berries and I think that's the way to go, so I would do that if you tried to make this recipe. So breakfast number 4 was pancakes again, except I just heated them up in the microwave, and honestly I don't know why more people don't do this because they taste really good, so I would highly recommend it. if you want to have pancakes during the week but don't have time to make them. And I topped it with the apple jam, which was honestly pretty good. I prepped breakfast number 5 the night before, and I made some overnight oats in the leftovers of my almond butter jar because I was pretty much out, which is really sad. I started off by putting half a cup of quick oats into the jar, which ended up spilling everywhere, so I don't think I even got half of the cup in. And I just added in about 2 tablespoons of chia and flax seeds just to thicken it up. And then I covered it with some soy milk, didn't measure it, and just mixed it up and then put it in the fridge to eat the next morning. When I woke up, I just took it straight out of the fridge and started eating it. It was very thick, but that's the way I like my oats. And it kind of looks gross, but I will say it does taste pretty good. I did top it with some fruit, I think, but I don't think I felt myself doing that. Breakfast number 6 was steel cut oats again, but this time I topped it with some leftover pistachio dust / crumbs from the bag, and it was actually so good. I think I'm gonna add crushed nuts to my oats more often. And finally, breakfast number 7, which was honestly more of a brunch, but I made some tofu scramble, which was just some extra firm tofu crumbled up in a pan with some spices. And then I had 4 pieces of toast with some avocado and everything but the bagel seasoning from Trader Joe's, which tastes so good with this combination. Okay guys, that was my week of breakfast. I hope you guys enjoyed it and hopefully got some inspiration for things that you can try out. Leave your guys' favorite breakfast idea down below because I'm always looking for new ideas, especially for breakfast, because I feel like most of the time I just end up eating oats every day just because it's easy. But I want to try more things, so let me know if you guys have any ideas that you think I would like. And that is all from me for today, so I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.